Hello, we are from group 1 for Nilam. We're gonna present about homeostasis. Concept and importance of homeostasis. Homeostasis can be defined as process of regulating physical and chemical factors of internal environment of an organism. Internal environment can be divided into two, which is tissue fluids and blood plasma. Physical factors in the internal environment include body temperature and blood pressure. Chemical factors can be divided into three types, which is first, partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide, second, osmotic pressure of blood, and third, blood sugar level. Internal environment must be regulated to achieve optimum levels so all physiologically processes can occur at optimum rates for the growth and development of body. Okay, here is the negative feedback mechanism of homeostasis. Okay, when value of normal range increases, so the value of regulatory system decreases. So it will become normal range. Okay, second one, when the value of normal range decreases, so the value of regulatory system increases. So it will achieve normal range.
Regulating body temperature. Regulating body temperature at a fixed range is important so that the cell metabolism reaction that are catalyzed by enzymes occur at optimum levels. If temperature too high, it will denature the enzyme, and if it's too low, it will slow down the metabolic activity of the cell and prevent it from carrying out cell processes. These changes are detected by thermoreceptor and also hypothalamus. Regulation of body temperature when the temperature increases by effector through the physical method. Effector muscles are less stimulated, so they do not constrict, and the fine hair will lower towards the skin surface. Thin layer of air trapped between the fine hair. As a result, and the heat can be released quickly. Skeletal muscles contract and relax less. The body does not shiver. After that, the sweat glands are stimulated to produce more sweat. The heat is absorbed to evaporate sweat and thus cools the skin. Arterioles in the skin dilate to allow more blood flow to skin surface. More heat is lost to external environment through radiation. Chemical method. The adrenal glands are less stimulated to screen adrenaline, so the metabolic rate decreases. The thyroid gland is not stimulated and the secretion of tyrosine is reduced. Metabolic rate decreases and no excess heat generated. Of body temperature when the temperature decreases through physical methods. Effector muscles stimulated and they contract, causing fine hair to stand erect. A thick layer of air trapped between this fine hair acts as an insulator that prevents loss of heat from skin. Sweat gland is not stimulated and sweating does not happen. Arterioles are stimulated to constrict and the blood will flow to the surface of the skin. Less heat is lost to the external environment through radiation, and the skeletal muscles will contract and relax. Body will shiver to raise the body temperature because constriction of muscles require more energy. For chemical methods, the adrenal glands are stimulated to secrete more adrenaline and speeds up the conversion of glycogen to glucose. Metabolic rate increases and oxidation of glucose releases heat to warm the body. The thyroid gland is stimulated to secrete more thyroxine and increase metabolic rate to more heat generated for the body.
Okay, so now we will continue to the regulation of blood sugar level. So, first of all, the normal range of blood sugar level is 75 to 110 milligram per 100 milliliter. So that is the normal sugar level. If it go below that or above that, it will be too much or too less. Okay, so first of all, what happens when blood sugar increase? For the example, after meal. So first of all, you can see here, the stimulus is blood sugar level increase. Then it will go to the receptor where beta cell in pancreatic Langerhans cell stimulated to secrete insulin to blood. So after they secrete the insulin, sorry, the corrective mechanism will happen. So what is corrective mechanism? This is the corrective mechanism. The insulin stimulates the muscle cell to use glucose in the process of cell respiration. Then the insulin will stimulate the conversion of excess glucose into glycogen to be stored in the liver and muscle cell. In adipose cell, insulin converts excess glucose to fat. So the corrective mechanism means they will make our muscle cell to use glucose, which is causing the blood sugar level to decrease, which is the effect. The blood sugar level decrease. Then the secretion of insulin will decrease because bila blood sugar level dia semakin mendekati normal blood ya, normal blood sugar level, secretion dia pun insulin akan decrease juga. Jadi bila dia berterusan, normal blood sugar level akan achieve. So this is what happen when blood sugar increase. Next is when blood sugar level drop. For example, after we exercise. So first of all, the stimulus, which is blood sugar level decrease, iaitu selepas exercise. So the receptor will be the alpha cell in pancreatic Langerhans cells are stimulated to secrete glycogen. Sebelum ni, bila dia increase, dia secrete insulin, now glycogen. So bila sudah kena secrete, corrective mechanism akan terjadi. Seperti yang saya cakap tadi, the corrective mechanism is glycogen stimulate liver cell to convert glycogen into glucose. Kan tadi dong saya store glycogen. Jadi sekarang bila terlampau rendah level, dong akan convert pergi glucose. Jadi glycogen akan also promotes the breakdown of fat to release fatty acid that can be metabolized to produce energy. Kan kita lepas exercise, contoh dah ni. Jadi kita memang guna energy. Jadi bila kita kehabisan energi seperti yang itu, gula kita akan rendah. Jadi fatty acid boleh bikin metabolize jadi energy. Jadi efek dia, blood sugar level kita akan increase. Jadi glycogen ni akan reduce juga apabila blood sugar level ni semakin naik. Itu juga glycogen akan reduce balik. Jadi dia akan reduce sampai normal blood sugar level jadi normal. So this is what happen when blood sugar level drop. So next is failure of production secretion to intake of insulin. So failure of production secretion and intake of insulin akan menyebabkan diabetes mellitus, which is symptom akan menyebabkan thirsty, kau rasa haus, tired, fatigue and weight loss. Jadi bila kau rasa badan kau cepat turun berat ya, jangan fikir nak kurus. Mungkin akan ialah diabetes mellitus. Jadi cara untuk kontrol dia ialah insulin injection, sebab kita sudah belajar tadi insulin ni akan reduce the blood sugar level. Then pills that lower blood sugar level dan proper diet lah. Proper diet ni lebih kepada bermaksud kita mengambil makanan yang kurang gula, atau kita lebih baik jangan makan gula, makanan yang ada gula. Itu saja bagi blood sugar level.
I'm going to explain about regulation of partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood. First of all, the respiratory control center in medulla oblongata is involved in the regulation of partial pressure of carbon dioxide in our blood. Sometimes there are times when our carbon dioxide partial pressure increases, and this may occur because of physical activities such as running, jogging, playing football, etc. So I'm going to talk about the mechanism when those things occur. So first off, the central chemoreceptors detect the change in pH in the cerebrospinal fluid, and then nerve impulse will be triggered and send the information to respiratory center. Next, the increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood is detected by peripheral chemoreceptor. So when the partial pressure of blood dioxide in our blood increase, it will be detected by peripheral chemoreceptor, and nerve impulse are triggered by the peripheral chemoreceptor and send the information to respiratory center. And then nerve impulse from respiratory center stimulate and quicken the contraction and relaxation of intercostal muscle and diaphragm. This will cause the breathing rates and our ventilation rates to increase. Thus, more oxygen is inhaled and carbon dioxide is eliminated. Blood pH return to normal. Also, heart rate increases. This quickens the transport of oxygen to the whole body as well as elimination of carbon dioxide from the body cells.
Now, I will explain about blood pressure regulation mechanism. Baroreceptors are a type of mechanoreceptors allowing for relaying information derived from blood pressure within the autonomic nervous system. Information is then passed in rapid sequence to alter the total peripheral resistance and cardiac output, maintaining blood pressure within a preset normalized range. It is located in the aortic arch and carotid artery. The carotid artery is the artery in the neck that supplies blood to the head. These receptors detect the pressure of blood flowing through them and continuously send impulses to the cardiovascular control center in the medulla oblongata to regulate blood pressure. Blood pressure drop. If an individual's blood pressure is dropped, it still can return to the normal range. If there is serious bleeding and cause the blood pressure drops, baroreceptors in the aortic arch and carotid artery are less stimulated. The cardiovascular control center in medulla oblongata is less stimulated. Arterial vasoconstriction occurs, and this adds resistance to the flow of blood in the bloodstream, and stronger constriction of cardiac muscle will occur. And that is how blood pressure will return to the normal range. Blood pressure increases. If an individual's blood pressure increases, it also can still returns to the normal range. During vigorous activities and cause the blood pressure increase, baroreceptors in the aortic arch and carotid artery are stimulated. The cardiovascular control center in the medulla oblongata is stimulated. Vasodilation will occur. This reduces the resistance of the flow of blood in the bloodstream, and weak constriction of cardiac muscle occurs. And that is how the blood pressure will return to the normal range.